Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this update I wanted to follow up on the IYT trade with you, and this is the transportation potential breakout. And today's move lower is actually a move in the right direction, as there's a few things that are on my radar. Number one, we continue to be in a sideways market, which is actually perfect for a fade buy as we head lower into the zone, which we did today. We have a gap close down in here, and that gap close happens to also coincide with a high degree of volume happening in the IYT. So there is an important volume level called the point of control sitting at that level, right around 251.5 as well. So gap close. We also have the sideways market, and this is a market that's going to go back and forth for a little while because, well, it's trying to transition out from what was a brief downtrend to possibly joining the overall movement higher. IYT has been a laggard, so it's not going to participate in the way that, say, NASDAQ and XLC and XLK and XLY or Dow and XLV and XLF and XLK are going to be behaving. Now, in an ideal world, the futures contracts of these sectors would be liquid enough where we could trade them. So because they are not, they exist, by the way. You can see them on the CME Group website. They're just not liquid. Nobody trades them. People are trading ETFs instead. So as a futures trader who understands that when you trade indices, you're trading a group of stocks wrapped up in some beautiful leverage, why not open up to the fact that the sectors are going to be in some way sync with the index? And in this case, the Dow heading higher, the overall markets heading higher could give IYT a shot. We're just not seeing that setup quite yet. We don't want to front run the setup too badly. So if you recall previous setups where I've talked about taking a range, cutting it in half and cutting the range in half again, again, there's a lot to like. My VWAP's down in here. The sideways market says it's fadeable. Let me talk about the V-score here, because this is a tool that I created back in the 07-08 financial crisis to consider where I can start to rebuild my portfolios after the market moved lower. I went into cash and needed a way to go back into the market following volume. Take a look at the last pullbacks. And take a look at the lows on the V-score. They're remarkably similar, even though the price levels are all different. See, that's the value of the V-score. It's not looking for the price to all be even. It's actually looking at volume. So you are actually looking for kind of a double or triple bottom on the V-score, not on price. And that's what we're seeing here. Not quite yet. That means we can go ahead. We can go a little bit lower, which is why I'm interested in the gap close. That's why I'm thinking we could hit a little bit lower before we get that V-score signal. So you might want to wait for that V-score low, a little bit below the mean, and then maybe a gap close, and then for it to move higher. Now, the problem with IYT is it's not super liquid. So once the IYT gives you the green light, you're going to be better off heading on over to all the different stocks within the IYT looking for opportunity. And a couple of the places that look kind of interesting would be Norfolk Southern, NSC. I think that bounce off the 200 could be interesting. I would also keep an eye on CSX. Again, these are going to move lower with the tide. And so even UNP off the 200 could be interesting. There's a number, so we might have to get a little bit more specific to the stock versus the IYT to find some liquidity, because IYT as an option is simply not going to have it. But when IYT gets in the zone, the probability that a heavily weighted stock within the IYT, which is also in its zone, you just increase the confirmation of that trade. And that's really what we're seeking. But we're letting the tide, we're letting the sector lead the way, and then we'll get a little bit more specific to the stock. Now, once we get down there and I find the stock, we'll follow up with this video. But I've been getting a lot of requests for, hey, Rod, could you show me how you used a V-score? Could you show me how you used a VWAP? Why does this JT Multi tell you that it's neutral and it's buyable? What are the blue grab candles telling you? And so I hope this helped, all right? And then, of course, on the 10th and 13th of September, coming up, we're going to have the live trading sessions that include the indicators. So two days, I think that's what it says down here, 2 days, 2 sessions, all right? We're going to have, I think maybe 2.5, 3 hours. We'll sit together, do some intraday trading with these tools, and then we'll have another session where I'll do some end of day trading with those tools, including alerts and all that good stuff. But it comes with the indicators, and that's what I'm really stoked about, that we can do some live trading with your having the indicators on your chart. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for IYT. Okay, it's setting up, and I want to show you how I'm making that decision. Keep an eye on that V-score low. That is going to be very, very interesting and a fantastic confirmation using volume for us. I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.